Hello, everyone, and welcome to our latest online event here at the University of California, Merced. My name is Ricky Hill, and I am the e-recruiter here at UC Merced. A huge welcome to you this evening. Thank you so much for joining us. Before we get started, I will give you a couple of quick reminders. If you need to adjust your audio settings, do that in the lower left corner of your screen. If you'd like to adjust the size of your screen, click on View Options in the upper portion of your window. Lastly, and most importantly, we do have a live question and answer session for you available at the end of this program. Go ahead and click on the Q&A button, send us your questions, and we are fully staffed behind the scenes, as always, with our content experts who will get to those throughout this presentation, as well as during that live Q&A at the end of our program. So please take full advantage of that so we can get to all of your questions. Tonight, we will be focusing on how to register for classes, an excellent topic, very timely indeed. So at this time, we will go ahead and get started, and I will hand things over to my colleague, Erin.
Hi, everyone, and welcome. My name is Erin Webb. I am the University Registrar, which means that I do all things academic records with the support of an amazing team. And so our office actually, if you think about it, takes over your academic record from after admission, from the time you first register for classes on to graduation, which you will all be achieving in 2 to 4 years, depending. So to get started tonight, you know who I am. Feel free as we go through and start the live demo to log in and follow along on your own laptop or computer. And one of the things we're going to go over some brief agenda items, and then we're going to jump right into the live demo because I know that's why you all are really here. So how to register for classes. So here's our agenda. We are going to just walk you through step by step, preparing for registration, which is the most critical step in registering for classes. We're going to talk briefly about the advisor course recommendations that you should have received yesterday, where you can find your appointment time, who cares about the catalog anyway, why it's important, viewing your degree audit, looking at your planner, which is a 4-year planning tool that we have available to all students, and then how to build a course schedule. After that, we'll go into how to actually register for classes. Common errors that you might find during the registration process. We do have a waitlist system, so we'll talk briefly about that. And then we'll mention briefly at the end to all registration deadlines. Here are the FAQs we are going to cover tonight. So before you drop too many questions in the Q&A section, we wanted to make sure we told you exactly what we were going to cover so you knew which questions would be answered throughout the live demo. One of my personal favorites is who cares about the university catalog anyway? It's actually a really important tool, so we're going to cover that as well. But I know why you're all really here, and it's to find out about how you will actually register for classes next week, and so we will make sure to cover that as well. So these, for new non-transfer students, you should have received an email from your advisor yesterday. It looked something like this. This is going to be an important resource as you start working on creating a course schedule for the fall 22 semester. So I wanted to make sure it's called How to View Your Fall 22 Course Recommendations. That's the email you're going to look for that came from your advisor. New transfer students, your email looks a little bit different, but it is available. And so you're going to want to make sure you can find that email that actually provides the course recommendations, the list of classes that your advisor has recommended you take for fall of 22. All right, you should see the Connect portal now. I have logged in, I have verified I am who I am, and I have some different options that are available. This one might look a little bit different than yours. This is because our test student is set up as a continuing student, but the links should be the same. So the first thing we're going to do is, when can you actually register next week? That's the question, right? This is how you find that information. You are going to click on My Registration. and it's going to take you to a screen that looks similar to this. If you click on the Prepare for Registration link and select the Fall 22 semester, you will see a lot of information. Again, this is our test student, so he has a lot of information. But you will see your time ticket, and it will tell you when you are allowed to begin registering for classes. You are going to want to register as close to the time that it opens as possible. And it's important that, let's say my registration appointment time is June 30th at 8 a.m., that by June 30th at 8 a.m., I have done everything I can do to be prepared to register for the classes. The courses do fill up really quickly, and it's important that you register for a minimum of 12 units. We actually recommend that you register for at least 15. But so it's going to be really important that you're just registered and ready to register at that appointment time. So now that you know when you're supposed to register and you've received the course recommendation email from your advisor, I'm going to jump in and show you why the catalog matters. So here is our catalog. This is the catalog. This is actually your contract with the University of California, Merced. It has lots of different information in it, policies. But what I really wanted to point out that I thought would be of value to all of you as you begin to prepare to register for classes, it has a full listing of all of the academic programs that we offer here at UC Merced. I'm going to use psychology for this demonstration, but there's lots of, obviously we offer a lot of different majors. So if I click on psychology, I am going to get taken to all of the courses that are required for my degree. So in order for me to graduate, all of these courses will be completed, and it goes by faster than you think, I promise. But also available to you in the catalog are these 4-year course plans. So here you can see that the faculty of the psychology department are recommending that I take Psychology 1, Writing 10, Spark 1, and that I take a general education area A natural science course within my first semester. Some of those courses can be moved around. For instance, if I can't get into Spark 1 the first semester, maybe I take a different introductory psychology course in the same semester, or I swap out my general education language requirement. So some of these things, although they are a template, it's not necessarily a requirement that you take those exact courses in your first semester. But the catalog is a helpful tool as you start to go through your degree program and learn what it's going to take for you to be able to graduate. So that's the catalog. So I'm going to actually close this out because the catalog isn't as fun as all the other tools that we provide you. So I'm going to go back to Connect because the next thing I'm going to show you is the degree audit. And actually the degree audit, it's called My Degree Path in the Connect platform. As you log in, I'm a declared psychology major. So there's lots of different things you can do. I can actually just see what my declared program. Oh, I've been playing with this a lot today. So I'm going to view my audit, and I can see which requirements have been satisfied and which requirements have left to be satisfied. So here, again, as an example, I can see that I need to satisfy my UC entry-level writing requirement, which means I need to take Writing 1. I might also need to take History 16 and 17. There's lots of different categories in here, but basically by the time you go to apply for graduation, you will see that your audit is completely green and that slowly but surely you've started to satisfy degree requirements. And this is driven from the catalog content. So the catalog is what's telling us in the registrar's office what to put into these different categories. So it's a direct correlation. So what you see in the catalog is what you will see in the degree audit. This is a helpful tool because where the catalog is a static document that you have to go in and start checking boxes for, the degree audit actually does all that tracking for you. Something else that I think might be really important for you all to know is that you can run what if audits is what we call them. So under select a different program, you can see that there are, maybe I want to change and be a chemical sciences major, or I want to go and be global arts studies. You can also choose, for those of you who are super adventurous, you can add a minor. So I could go in and say, I'm also very interested in being an English minor. And I could run a degree audit based on a what if scenario. What if I wanted to change my major? What if I decide that I'm a chemistry major or a physics major or a psychology major and it's just not for me? You can go in and run a what if audit in those kind of scenarios. Something else that I would also want to mention at this point is that for those of you who maybe wanted to change your major and your major to switch into that major wasn't open when we offered that a couple months ago, or you're still kind of on the fence, feel free to go in and run as many degree audits as you want. The right time to run a degree audit is anytime you change courses, anytime you're thinking about looking into a new major or changing majors or anything like that. You can run audits whenever you want. It's available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So it's a really nice tool that we provide students at UC Merced. That it was a long time coming, and it's been around for a while now, but it's something that we're really proud of. All right, so that is the degree audit. So the next tab I have on here is plans. So I'm going to click on plans, and this, if you remember, was something that was specifically mentioned for new non-transfer students. This was something that was mentioned in the email you received from your advisor. So when you log in, you will see for new students, non-transfers, there is a first semester plan. I recommend you don't make edits to that plan. You could add to it, but you're going to want to keep that safe for a little while. If you've already gone in and looked and done some things, no worries. However, one thing you can do is just copy the plan, rename the plan, whatever you're in the mood for, and you can go in and start building off that plan and really making it your own. You can plan for summer terms, you can plan to study abroad using the tool. So I'll jump into what it is exactly in a second. But for you transfer students who are on and watching, transfer students do not have a first semester plan. However, there's nothing preventing you. Again, just like the audit is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, the planner is also available to you. So you can go in, you can create a new plan, select your major, select your catalog year, and then you can go in and start building that 4-year plan or 2-year plan, really, to make sure that you can graduate in a timely way. For this demonstration, I am going to stick with the first semester plan because I built it earlier for this demonstration, so I wanted to, we are going to stick with this one today. So I'm actually going to go in and I'm going to click on my first semester plan. It does take a while to load because it's actually what it's doing is checking against the degree audit to make sure everything's jiving. So here we have the first semester plan. You can see on the left-hand side, this is a roadmap for psychology, which is my declared major. And I have a catalog effective term of fall 22. And again, on the left, you can see there's year 1, term 1, there's year 1, term 2, and it goes all the way through a 4-year course plan. I came in this demonstration as a transfer student, so I already have some requirements that are checked off, which might be true for you all as well, because if you came in, again, with AP work or credit from a community college, then you might see some requirements checked off. These requirements will also check off as you drag and drop courses into different semester plans. So I can see here, if I look at fall 22, that my advisor is recommending I take Psychology 1, Writing 1, Spark 1, and AMP 5. So I can see, because my advisor pre-planned that first semester for me, that Psychology 1 has now been checked off over here because I have planned to take it. You could continue to build off this first semester plan if you choose, or if you choose, you could go to the Plans tab, back out. You can clone the original plan, the original first semester plan, and you could start making changes there as well. We do request, though, that you leave the first semester plan as unaltered as possible, because we don't want you to lose or miss those recommendations you're getting from your advisor. Some of you might have just this short list of courses. Some of you might also, from your advisor, have additional text where there are some courses that are required for your major, there are others that are recommended, and then there are some alternates that are also planned. So again, if you have that and you have a good idea of what you for sure want to take, I would suggest cloning the first semester plan or copying it, renaming it to whatever you want, and going in and altering that instead of making changes to the plan that your advisor gave you. Within the planner, again, not making changes to the first semester plan, but within the planner, you can have as many plans as you'd like. You can add another roadmap to the plan. This is the button you would use to, let's say I knew for sure I wanted to add an English minor. I could add a different plan. I could also add a different double major. If I wanted to be psychology and chemistry, for instance, I could add another roadmap to this plan that I've created. At any time, you could also run an audit against your planned classes. And this is really great when you have a 4-year plan that you feel is accurate, and you've mapped out every single semester of your four years at UC Merced. You can actually go and press this button, and it will take all of your planned courses and run it against the degree audit to make sure that, yes, if you take these planned courses, you will graduate in the time that you have specified. So it's a really neat tool that we provide to our students. Another option we have in the plan is that you can go in and make adjustments to what your graduation goal GPA is, or your projected cumulative GPA for a specific term or a semester. And so this is really important for all of you high achieving students who maybe want to earn highest honors at graduation or meet a minimum GPA to get into a graduate school. So it's just another helpful tool that we make available to you. So I'd encourage you to go in and explore the plan. Again, you can create as many plans as you want, leaving the first semester plan as unaltered as possible, and go in and explore and create different plans that then you can discuss with your advisor within your first semester or second semester. So the next thing I'm going to demonstrate is a tool that we provide called Schedule Builder. There's a couple different ways to get there. My preference is to actually create a plan from the recommended courses. You could also get there by just clicking on schedules, but if you just click on schedules, you actually have to manually add the courses to your plan. So then you'd have to remember what the recommended courses were. So instead of doing that, I'm just going to click on this button here, which actually schedules my classes for me. Yes, I do want to schedule all my planned classes for fall of 22. So here we can see that it displays, there's nothing in here yet, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the system to auto-generate some schedules on my behalf. And this kind of takes a lot of the guesswork of playing Tetris, where you have to figure out a way how all of these different sections that meet multiple days a week fit together. So I'm going to say, please auto-generate a schedule for me. I'm going to ask it to generate 5. You can see that it's automatically generated some different schedule options for me that I can choose from. So here, there's different options. So maybe if you don't want to take classes on Friday, this is the best option that you might want to choose. There's another way that you can also search for different auto-generated sections. You can ask it instead to just kind of go back here. Sections, I'm going to hide the conflicting sections. And so it will automatically hide any of the sections that might conflict. And so you will be able to come and kind of pick and choose which courses are best fits for the schedule that you want to create for fall. So from here, there's also some different options in here where you can mark some busy times. So this is particularly important for athletes who may have practice or specific schedules, or perhaps you know that you already have a job on campus and you have a particular time that you're going to be working. You could actually write in and auto-generate some schedules based on your busy times. So it's, again, another option we provide to students to really facilitate and help you through the registration process. From here, I'm going to actually show you a different way that you can search for classes. The schedule builder is one option, but we're also going to just go into the a different view of the class schedule, which we'll go to next. It's really important that while you're in here and maybe you're choosing different sections, that you write down the CRNs that are associated, because that's what you're going to use to register for classes. It's the easiest way and most direct way to do that. So make sure you're writing down that's AMP5. I'm going to need to set it up for section 1 and 06L, which is the lab, which I'll go into in a little bit. Those are called link sections, and those something that we have here at UC Merced. We'll go over that in the next portion. But you're going to want to make sure you're kind of taking note of which courses that you might want to register for, so you're ready to go on your registration appointment time. So when you're ready to leave here, there's some different options. You can, if you remember from the beginning, within Connect, you can choose My Registration. Another way to get to My Registration is directly from this schedule builder. And we're going to open this in a new tab. And this takes us into registration. Again, this will look familiar. Under Prepare for Registration is where you can see your registration appointment time, often referred to as a time ticket, just as a reminder. And you can also search for different classes within the search class schedule. Now, because we want to be prepared by the time registration comes, I'm actually going to start looking for classes. So I'm going to go in. Oh, did you all see what I didn't actually say? Search class schedule is what you're going to click on. So choose the fall semester 2022. And I know this because I've been into my plan and saw my first semester plan of the courses that my advisor recommended to me. And so I know that my advisor recommended that I take Writing 1, Psychology 1, Spark 1, and AMP5. So I'm going to do a quick search for those classes here to find times that fit together. So I'm going to search for Writing 1. And there are a lot of different options. You can see that even if I go down and do 50 per page, there are a lot of different Writing 1 options. It's really going to be easy for me to try to fit a Writing 1 class into my class schedule. So I'm going to go look at some other classes that might be a little bit harder to determine which sections fit. So I'm going to hit search again and choose Psychology 1, because that's my major class and I really want to make sure that that one fits into my schedule. So here I can see there's only 2 sections of Psychology 1 offered. There's a lot of seats open, so I'm not really that worried about, getting the one I need. But I really like the idea of a Tuesday, Thursday class, because maybe I would really prefer not to have classes on Monday and Friday. Not that that's probably going to be possible, but I really like that idea. So I'm going to choose to sign up for Psychology 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a piece of paper out. I'm going to write down Psychology 1, and I'm going to write down that CRN, because I know that that's my top priority course that I want to make sure I register for. So now that I have my Psych 1 course and I've written down not only the CRN, but I've also written down that it's offered on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the specific time, I can go back in and search for, let's say, Spark. Spark courses it's a required class that everyone has to take. You will notice too that there are lots of different topics. They're all the same. They all satisfy the same requirement, but they really are, you are learning with a faculty member from UC Merced about that faculty member's research and doing your own small research project as well. And so I'm really interested in this horror literature. So I'm actually going to write down this, this particular CRN, and that the course is offered Monday and Wednesday. So when you see the black, that means it has to be taken. Usually you can ignore the exams. We don't have a lot of exam conflicts, but you might find that, so this is an exam offered at a certain day of the week, and you can actually see, if you expand these sections, exactly when those exams are offered. But that's generally how you search for courses. Now I'm going to show you one more example because this is sometimes a little confusing and tricky. Especially for you STEM majors who take a lot of lectures with corresponding laboratories, you'll see that this section in particular, these sections are linked, which means that not only do I have to sign up for the lecture piece and write down this CRN and pay attention to these times, I'm also going to need to pay attention and register for a corresponding lab. The easiest way to do that, to make sure, is to find the lab that you think fits best with your schedule. I would think I really would rather go Friday at 8:30 in the morning. So after I'm done with classes on Friday, I can drive home and see my parents. So I'm going to click on this view linked. Did it get small again?
Yes, it did actually. We're just noticing that. Sorry, y'all.
And my screen's kind of funky, so you can't really see it all when oh, there it goes.
There we go.
Is that better? Okay.
Yes.
Just yell at me, or not yell, but tell me and I'll fix it. So when I click on linked, so it's telling me when I clicked on that specific anthropology lab that this is the other CRN I need to register for. So I actually need to write down that I'm going to register for 30198 because I'm changing my mind and this one fits better with my schedule. And then I'm also going to write down that I need to register for this CRN 30193. So that's how you kind of build a class schedule. It's a lot of kind of, if y'all like Tetris, it's a lot like playing Tetris. You got to find the other recommendation I have is to have some backups. Maybe your first section of writing one that you found that you were really interested in taking fills up before your registration appointment time. So you're going to want to have some backup sections and backup schedules that all fit together so you're ready to go at your registration appointment time. So all of this happens before you actually register for classes. So the preparing for registration actually takes longer than registering for classes. So I'm actually going to go and show you what it's like to register for classes at UC Merced. I'm going to go back to registration. And this is, again, in my Merced, it's just my registration again, but we're going to click on a different link. It's going to be the register for classes link. I'm going to, okay, good, that one stayed. Now, because I've done all this prep work, I know exactly which CRNs I need to register for. So I'm not going to do a search right here. I'm actually going to just start entering CRNs. You could also, in the same way you searched in the last screens I was showing, you could do the same type of search here and it pulls it up. But I'm going to do a direct CRN enter just to save some time. So I know I need to register for the following classes. So what it does is I directly enter the CRN and it's going to drop it into, this is kind of like a shopping cart down in the summary. So you can see I'm not registered for it yet, but it's pending. That was that one. So now I've entered all the CRNs for the courses I want, and I'm actually going to purposely generate an error on this just so you can see what an error looks like. So now that I've got them all in my shopping cart, I'm going to hit submit. Oh, look, I have a linked error. So what that's telling me is that I didn't actually, remember that linked course in Anthropology 5? I didn't actually sign up for the other section of the course that I needed to. So I was trying to get into the laboratory, but I forgot to actually also register for the lecture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 30198. Oh, let me remove this and do it again. So 30198 and 30193. Add those, hit submit. And then I am now registered for these courses. And you can see a nice little detail here that actually shows you where your courses are and how they fit in, what your day-to-day or week by week experience will be as a student at UC Merced. So on Mondays and Wednesdays, I'm going to go to Spark. I'm also going to go to AMP 5. I have my psychology course, and then this is the exam. And I also have my intro to biology, the anthropology lab. You can look up scheduled details, which provide the details, and look up different details in this view as well. So there's lots of different options. So once you're registered in classes, you can get in there and kind of play around. But that is actually the registration process, which is pretty easy. I wanted to point you to a few more resources before I try to jump back into the planner to see, hopefully it's working. On the registrar's website, we have a lot of information on this site, but two things that I wanted to point out is under resources, we have a whole registration help section. So if you're registering for classes and you find an error, like an error that you're not sure what to do about, you can actually go to registering for classes, and there's a whole section in here about online registration, and it will show you and explain what you need to do based on any error that you received. The most common errors are that there's a time conflict or that you haven't satisfied a prerequisite or a major restriction. Also, if you find that a course is closed, we do offer a waitlist option at UC Merced, and that functionality will turn on July 5th. So this next week during registration is a time for you to get into classes that are open. And then the waitlist functionality, you will actually be able to add yourself to a waitlist if there is a closed class starting July 5th at 9 a.m. Another helpful resource on our page before I leave this registrar website is that you can, there are helpful deadlines. So not only does the Students First Center provide fantastic support in incorporating all dates and deadlines, you can also use this deadlines field to look at deadlines specific to registration for a specific term. And so this is always available to students as well. We put as much information on our website as possible.
All right, unless there's anything else, I think that about wraps it up for us tonight. So a big thank you to all of our panelists. Thank you so much for hanging in there with us, to our great audience. We had a huge crowd tonight. It's been so much fun as always. One last reminder, go ahead and follow us on social media, as well as checking out that I Am a Bobcat virtual series, that website that we did drop in there. Get yourself registered for the upcoming events, watch some instant replays, and take a look in a couple days, and you'll be able to see this one there as well. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Have a great night. We'll see you next time.